So, okay, let's start this presentation, which is named Pandemic's Impact on the Natural and Beauty Market and the NATRUE label as the key for the more sustainable cosmetics. My name is Viktoria Potko. I'm working as the Label and Events Officer here at NATRUE. In the program, you could have seen that it's Mark Smith, Director General of NATRUE, who were supposed to be here today, but unfortunately for the personal reasons he was not able to come. So I will do this presentation for you today in English. I can understand perfectly French, maybe not really speaking French, but I will try to understand your questions. So, and we will structure the presentation today basically divided on three main chapters. And first would be how COVID-19 changed our interest to sustainability. Then we will speak about the boom of sustainable beauty, the data and the current trends, and also about the NATRUE label as the key for more sustainable products on the market. We are kind of now living in the post-pandemic era, where coronavirus started 2 years ago, but we can already say that we live in a completely different world, because the world has recently changed and the consumer's behavior has changed. So the coronavirus has changed our perspectives and increased the awareness of humans for the fragility of the human health, the importance of local community and real-life human relationship, and also the need to act globally to solve problems. And now, more than ever, consumers realized what is a strong relationship between human and the planet. However, it's important to note that the current ecosystem and the way humans live now seems to be ideal condition for the host and live of animal viruses. According to the newly released research from the University Davis One Health in California, the human activity in the current level as we are having now can also lead to the future risk of pandemics. So we had first pandemic happening, but it can be that in future we will still have some pandemics happening in our lives. However, it's very interesting to see that once in March 2020 the lockdown measures were in force, NASA released the data and showed that the pollution in the epicenters of Wuhan region, Italy, and in Spain is actually reduced by 30%, which you can already see here on the screen. So you can see that in March 2019, the air was extremely polluted, while during the lockdown measures, it was significantly reduced. The quality of pollution was significantly reduced. And now we're basically back. It's a picture of March 2021 when we're already back to the activities that we currently have on our level. But we can already see how the human behavior and the manufacturing processes that we are doing influencing the current situation that we have with the environment. So also the pandemic has increased a lot the attention of the governments towards the sustainability, and now all the governments are moving in the more coordinated, sustainable way. For example, for sure you have already heard about the European Green Deal, which is basically a European strategy to put net zero emissions for the climate neutrality. And there is also a development of the strategy for sustainable chemicals and the circular economy action plan, which means that Europe in future will become for sure more green. Then also COP26 with the Parisian Agreement in place, has an aim to reduce global warming to 1.5% above the pre-industrial levels, and also are aiming for the net zero emissions. In the United Nations Agenda for Sustainable Development, there are currently 17 goals and 169 sub-goals on the three dimensions of sustainability, such as ecology, society, and economy. And those goals are aimed to be reached by 2030. For me, it's a little bit maybe too optimistic, but let's hope for the future. However, it's in general to sum up this, that all the governments now move into a more sustainable future, and we want to achieve more green economy and circular transition. Since the beginning of pandemic, we can already say that the consumers became more awareness about sustainability, and the consumers became more conscious towards what they are buying and how they live their daily lives. And sustainable community is now growing, and sustainable consumerism is also a growing trend. In the next slide, I would like just to show some examples of Taylor Research University, how they define the conscious consumer. Basically, the conscious consumer is someone who is seeking to reduce the negative impact on their own choices of what they are buying in their daily life, and how this influence planet and people. From what we can see here, well, basically, 80% of the consumers want to avoid plastic and buy products without plastic. Also, 80% of consumers are thinking that the brands are not doing enough to tackle sustainability, and they also want to know more about the brands and about how transparent is the supply chain ours. 60% of the consumers, so you can see here basically like two big groups, which is 80% and 60%. So 60% of consumers want to pay more for sustainable brands. So if before the price was more like a factor, let's say more negative factor towards natural and sustainable products, and consumers wanted to pay maybe less, now they are able to pay more, and they are willing to pay more, but be sure that something that they are buying is more let's say green and helping the environment. Then 65% of consumers want to live more sustainable lifestyle, and they also want to know more about brands that they are buying. And also, it's, I think, very important to mention that the brand should have a purpose and not just sell the products. For example, now many cosmetic companies have also local initiatives like helping environment, bees, recycling. So for the consumers now, it's also important to know that the brand is not just selling the product, but also doing something for the sustainability. And as we can see, the biggest cosmetic companies has accepted this challenge. And so far, Beiersdorf, which is one of the biggest German manufacturers of the hygiene products, has a program called Care Plus. It's a program of corporate responsibility, and they would like for the future to have a more green production. Also, L'Oreal, NATRUE & Co. and Unilever recently achieved Terra Carta seal from the Prince of Wales for the commitment towards net zero status in 2050. And many companies now, such as, for example, Veleda, Aesop, or Davines, and many other beauty brands, but also food brands, are now trying to achieve a B Corp status. B Corp means that these companies are legally required to consider sustainable and environmental goals and provide a healthy working environment for the workers, consumers, suppliers, and local communities. And from this, we can actually go to the next chapter of this presentation, which will be data and trends for sustainable beauty. And we'll speak a little bit more about the beauty market. So, of course, beauty sector has been hit hard by pandemic back in 2020. Of course, the disruption of the sales channels has led to the drop in sales. As such, for example, the prestige beauty market has dropped in sales of 16% in Germany and 20% in France. As you can see here on this graphic, basically all sales channels were disrupted. The only one growing channel was e-commerce channels, and it led to plus 42% of the online sales in the Italian market. It's even more in France. And actually, this trend is actually showing that the online retail is still growing. So such platforms as Sephora Online or Amazon, where people are used now to buy beauty products. Before they were mostly buying some books and other maybe like things for home, but not beauty products. Now consumers are changing, and they try to buy more online because it's something that started to be our habitude. However, despite the drop in the sales, personal hygiene products and natural cosmetics were in increase of the sales. And despite the negative figures that we have seen in 2020, the cosmetic industry, since it's one of the very essential industries for consumers, still showing the growth, and it becomes more flexible and innovative. So according to Research and Market Organization, the beauty market is expected to reach a growth rate of almost 5% by 2026, so which is basically in 3.5 years from now, and this is very significant growth. However, here we are speaking about now sustainable and natural cosmetics, and maybe years ago, consumers were looking for more fancy brand names and more gorgeous packaging. So consumers were more buying something that they knew by the brand name, for example, or by the package that was more attractive on the shelf. But now this has changed, and consumers are putting more attention towards the ingredients that are inside the cosmetic products, and also how safe is this product for the body and for the planet. The after-pandemic era has showed to us how actually has changed the consumption of organic and sustainable products. So from India to Europe and also to the United States, there was a global 40% demand for natural, organic, and planet-friendly products compared to 2020. So you have seen that basically it's almost double interest in comparison with the pre-pandemic years. So if for many sectors we can say that pandemic was something like very negative, for the natural and organic beauty market, pandemic was something, let's say, positive, because it showed to consumers the importance of buying more sustainable products. And I have also found for this presentation a very interesting statistics of Nielsen, and it showed a tremendous growth for the beauty products which are having green labels and green claims. For example, it showed almost like 10% more sales for the products with the sustainable claims, 5% more of the sales for organic claim, 20% more of the sales for biodegradability claim, and 55% for biodegradable packaging and compostable packaging. And this has also been supported by the market study that NATRUE commissioned in February 2021, so basically 1 year after pandemic. This research has been carried out in two biggest markets for the natural and organic cosmetics, so in Germany and in France. And we can see that basically one of the major factors for consumers who are trying to buy beauty products is the natural factor. And surprisingly, for us, it was more surprising because Germany usually is the biggest market for natural and organic cosmetics, and France is the second. However, the natural rating and the natural factor is more important in France than in Germany. This also followed by skin compatibility factors and the performance factors. However, the presence of natural ingredients is extremely important for the French consumers. But how exactly French consumers are defining naturalness? So here are the basically major factors, what is inside the beauty product that they would like to find. There is, first of all, 100% natural ingredients. So what is the composition of the products? Then it's also protection of the animal welfare. So despite the ban of the animal testing in Europe, consumers still want to be sure that there is no bad impact towards animals. Also, here is a trend now to buy vegan products. However, it's important to say that vegan products mean that basically there are no ingredients coming from the animal origin, but it doesn't mean that vegan products guarantee you that there are no petrochemicals in the composition of the product, which can be sometimes misleading for the consumers because unlike, for example, food, where when you are buying vegan, it basically means that it's 100% plant-based. With cosmetics, it can be that you're buying a vegan product, but still there are some petrochemical ingredients inside, even though they are, of course, with no animal origin. And also, for French consumers, it's important to find organic ingredients inside the beauty products that they are using. As I have already said, French natural cosmetic market is the second biggest market in Europe. And it will, by 2025, it should reach 378 million euros, which it exactly makes it, I think, like now in the more or less the same level with German market. So I think there is some sort of competition now, and maybe French will be even on the first place now. If we, in general, will have a look on the development of natural and organic cosmetics worldwide, it's important to mention that the most developed market now is, of course, European market, because also here we have legislation in favor of green transition and European Green Deal. There is now also an entrance from the Asian countries. So in Asia, especially in Korea, there is now a boost for natural products. However, Europe still now stays the leader for natural and organic cosmetics, and of course it's also the biggest market for certified products, with the products having the certification seals for cosmetics, such as, for example, Cosmos or NATRUE. And since we're now here speaking about the trends, I would like just basically mention some trends for the going green cosmetic formulations, or how to make your product more like in demand for the consumers and what they would like to see. So of course, if before natural and organic cosmetics were mostly the niche market, now it becomes more a trend. And now from the niche market, where mainly like small manufacturers were producing natural and organic, we are now moving towards the direction where multinationals such as L'Oreal and Beiersdorf and Unilever, they're trying now to produce also certified beauty lines. So it's not anymore a trend, but it's really like a demand from the consumer, not anymore niche, but really a trend. Then consumers would like to find like more minimal composition, because sometimes they are very confused by finding a lot of ingredients on pack. So if you, for example, turn your product and you see 100 inkies there, it's very difficult for the consumers to understand what exactly is inside the product that they are buying. And the studies has shown that the less inkies you have inside the composition of the product, the more trust consumer has to this product, because they think that the less you have, the more natural it is, which is not always the case, but this is the perception of the natural beauty. So if, for example, you have a product consisting of one inky, for example, it will be like pure oil, consumer would have an idea that it's more natural than, for example, oil composing of 20 different inkies. Then there is also a trend to multifunctional products, which, for example, can be used like 2-in-1, 3-in-1, because also it's better for the environment, but also a cost-saving solution. I'm pretty sure, since we are here now at NATEXPO, and you have seen already before a trend for the solid cosmetics. It has been developed since basically beginning of pandemic. Now it's, let's say, it's something that we're used to have, but still consumers try to buy solid products to avoid excessive packaging and also save water. And also cosmetic kits and do-it-yourself products started to be more popular, especially during pandemic, because consumers didn't have anymore the access to the beauty studios, and they cannot do anymore the beauty routines and at the spa salons or wherever they were used to go. And it was a trend to buy basically ingredients and do some facials by themselves at home. And what concerns the formulation? Well, now it's a trend for microbiome beauty, so of the healthy bacteria for your skin. This trend is also now, basically it came from Asia, where it started, and now it's also very in demand in Europe. Then also we can speak about the novel green ingredients, for example, some alternatives to petrochemical ingredients, which are can be found now for the biggest suppliers. From the biggest suppliers. Then the last year's trend of CBD beauty, since CBD started to be legalized in Europe, and consumers are aware of the beneficial traits of this ingredient. Here was also a trend for CBD. And of course, the vegan cosmetics, since we have also a growth from the consumers who are vegetarians and vegans. However, as I have already mentioned, it's important to understand that vegan cosmetics would not necessarily mean that it's natural. And from this, we will also move to the NATRUE label, and I will tell what NATRUE is about and what we are doing and how to achieve the certification with the NATRUE, and why NATRUE exactly was created. So currently in the cosmetic market, we can face the problem of greenwashing. And while greenwashing made some very clean, but in reality, it's a very dirty business practice. So why we're saying that that is dirty business? Well, because actually a recent study that has been carried out in UK has showed us that, that basically 48% of consumers are looking for more information and clarity about the brand values and commitments to the environment. And it's not always clear for the consumers when they're buying a beauty product what exactly is brand commitment towards sustainability and the environmental impact. Then 61% of us struggle to tell if hair and skincare products are ethical from the packaging. And since there is no harmonized criteria to define the properties of natural and organic in cosmetics, it's extremely important to have standards like NATRUE to show that the product is authentically natural. It's here also, I think, well, while in Europe, organic in food is regulated, and it's a regulation on the European level, for the cosmetics there is a lack of regulation. So basically, the terms of natural and organic are not defined anymore, and has never actually been defined. And so, if consumers want to find like a really natural product, they would need to have some sort of reassurance, and for this there exist such tools as the certification. For example, it can be a label, such as label, extremely popular here in France is Cosme Bio, but also a NATRUE label, which is also well known worldwide. So what advantages are of the certification? Well, first of all, it's a guarantee for the consumer who are looking for a more green product that an external body guarantee compliance with the rules. Usually, it's a third-party certification, which means that, for example, in case with NATRUE, we're the standard owner, and all the certification is carried out by the independent organization. So there is no favoritism towards products. Then the continuous improvements of the standards can guarantee that the consumers are buying products that correspond to the latest scientific and chemical developments. In certain countries, certification requirement may also assist with the sales at bio-retailers. For example, in Germany, DM and Rossmann, which are two biggest supermarkets for the beauty, require now having certification of their products. I recently have spoken with one of our brands from Sweden, and actually they said to me that they were able to enter one of the Finnish retailers just because they already had a certification with NATRUE, which is highly valued on the market. And also certification can assist you when you are justifying the claim towards the supervisory authorities. There are 6 common criteria for the claims in Europe, and you, by law, cannot claim anything very vague like eco, green, without having a real justification for this. So certification can really assist in this. So if there are no definition of natural and organic, and consumers can be easily misled, how exactly they can buy truly natural cosmetics? Well, the answer for this is, of course, NATRUE standard, which set up transparent and verifiable criteria, and also provides a product database of all the products that are certified. So any consumer, and any time they want, can check this online without. It's free. I will show you later the screenshots. So NATRUE label has been created in 2008 by the pioneers and the largest producers of natural and organic cosmetics in Europe. Our founding members are Veleda, Dr. Hauschka, Lavera, CIP, and Logokos, the biggest natural and organic cosmetics manufacturers coming from Germany and Switzerland. And the mission of the creation of the association was to protect and promote natural and organic cosmetics to the benefits of the consumers worldwide. So what NATRUE label is? This is the question that I'm answering basically every day. NATRUE is the standard owner. We have created a document with a development which sets up basically the criteria for third-party certification of natural and organic cosmetics. It's also important to mention that NATRUE is not certifying directly, but we work with a chain of accredited organizations all over Europe to certify cosmetics to our standard. Why we were created? Exactly for the reason that since basically 2007 and until now, there is still no official regulation for natural and organic terms in cosmetics. Okay, this I think we already explained. So basically, NATRUE is a standard, and with a label, we basically mean this logo that you can see on the screen, which appears on pack of different products. So what NATRUE represents today? Currently, we have 280 brands all over the world, presented in 28 countries. We have 8,000 certified and approved raw materials for the cosmetic use. We work with 10 NATRUE-approved certifiers globally, and we have 70 international members now. So what are the guarantee of NATRUE? Well, first of all, NATRUE guarantee that all the products are reflecting consumers' expectations. There is, we are committed to the green and clean, so there is no hero products in the whole range, because we have 75% rule, which basically guarantees that it's 75% of the product range is certified and not just one product in the range of 100. We also have a third-party certifications which guarantees our impartiality. We're very clear about the ingredients that we are using, so there is no GMO, no mineral oils, no silicones, no semi-synthetic and synthetic fragrances, no phenoxyethanol, parabens, and other microbeads and microplastics. We are protecting animal welfare, and any NATRUE certified products cannot be marketed in the countries where animal testing is required by law. So far, it was only China. Also, we guarantee organic origin, which is this control organic origin support and the support to biodiversity. We guarantee environmental protection with our requirement of sustainable palm oil sourcing and RSPO. There is also CITES criteria and mentioned in our standard. Well, and NATRUE is a non-profit association, so basically we do not charge. Basically, in the core of our, we are not a business, but we are non-profit. So we're receiving our funds just from the members who want to commit to more, let's say, to more green cosmetic market. There are also a lot of other schemes on the European market, but one of the questions that we receive quite often, and what is the difference between NATRUE and other label schemes? So first of all, it's our commitment against greenwashing with our 75%, which means that 75% of the product range should be certified to our standard. Then we do not allow part synthetic ingredients, as many other standards can allow. And also, unlike other certification schemes, we do not certify directly by ourselves, but we do it through the independent certification bodies. On our website, you can also find publicly available database available for everyone who wants to check if the product is truly certified. There are different filters, so consumers can easily find certified products and find the information about the products. For instance, there can be a level to which we certify, and we certify only to 2 levels, which is natural and organic, or organic. Then consumers can check the INCIS and the description of the product. And some words about the NATRUE standard. So NATRUE standard is a voluntarily standard and internationally applicable standard. So there is no need to certify it, but by law, but manufacturers can choose to certify to our standard in order to guarantee to the consumers that the product is truly natural or organic. The latest version of the standard came into force on 1st of January 2021, and usually the standard is updated every 2 years. We do this change in order to correspond to the latest scientific developments, because chemical industry is one of the most fast developing industry, so we want to be in line with the current changes. There are basic requirements of the NATRUE standard, and I would not go too much into details of this, but we guarantee that there are no GMO, there are no ingredients from dead vertebrates. We do not allow marketing of the products to any market where animal testing is required by law. There are only three categories of ingredients that are allowed, which is natural, derived, natural, and natural identical. Unlike other standards, we do not calculate water for the final composition of the product. So for us, water is natural. Sometimes it can be the case that, for example, product would consist 90% of the water, for example, like a shampoo. But if you calculate it as, for example, natural, then it's very easy to say that the product is natural, but in reality, water considers to be neutral. We only have 2 levels of certification, which is natural cosmetics and organic cosmetics. In our criteria, we also support the principles of green chemistry. We support the principles of biodiversity, and we have a criteria for packaging materials, which is basically reducing plastic and packaging to a minimum. And we also have 13 categories of products with their own requirements for each category. We do it in order to, basically, if you have a solid product and a water product, like a shampoo, for example, it's very difficult to measure them in the same level. So for this reason, we have 13 different categories. And here I already spoke about this, but I will just highlight once again one of the requirements of the NATRUE standard is 75% rule, which basically means that in the range of 10 products, at least 8 products should be certified to our standard. We do it in order to avoid, let's say, having a hero product in the range of the brand, where, for example, you can have a brand consisting of 10 products, but only one would be certified, and you can put it as certified product, highlight that your brand is natural, but in reality there is only one product who corresponds to the requirements of the standard, for example. So when the consumers are buying the NATRUE certified products, they can be sure that there are only natural, derived natural, or natural identical ingredients, and there are no synthetic or semi-synthetic substances such as silicones, paraffins, petrolatum, or any other substance that consumers do not want to find in natural cosmetics. And also some takeaways of this presentation. So, as already mentioned, natural cosmetics is not anymore a niche market, but it's something that is very trendy now, and the consumers' interest after pandemic is still growing. Also, the pandemic boosted the green transition for the industry and for economics in general. Also, the governments now also require more green economy. It will create also some economical challenges for the companies, but the trend would be that by 2050 we will have more green economy. And with this race of the consumers' awareness to sustainability, for the brand owners it's very important to set the right strategy and select the best tools to produce cosmetics that can be recognized as truly natural and organic in the lack of regulation. And we're here exhibiting at NatExpo. You can visit us at the stand J21, and should you have any questions, you can contact us or by email indicated in the slide, or just come to our stand and I'm happy to answer your question. Once again, I'm Viktoria. I'm responsible for certification at NATRUE. And here I have my colleague Paula, who is responsible for communication, so we will be able to assist you with any questions you may have. Thank you for your attention.